Hello, great and students. Video 2 talking about also hormonal communication, which is allowed in the body by our endocrine system. So they're saying in document 1, page 144, that the human body contains many endocrine glands. We know that our endocrine system is made up of endocrine glands. The controller of all is the pituitary gland, which is also called the master gland. Okay, it mainly controls the activity of another gland, which is the thyroid gland, which is located when at the base of the neck, under the larynx, in front of the trachea. This gland consists of central structure. Look in here. We have the central structure. It's called isthmus. It's surrounded by two lobes, one on the right and one on the left. Under microscope, you can see the big circular follicles. This is a follicle. Each follicle consists of an outer layer of epithelial, يعني مثل skin follicular cells, epithelial follicular cells. They surround a lumen, only an empty space is about when a cavity, in which colloid liquid is stored, which in turn, when needed, it is used to produce the hormonal, the thyroid hormone. Okay, so the colloid liquid will be used later on when needed to be the T3 and T4 hormones. In normal cases, the epithelial cells absorb amino acids and iodine molecule from blood, and they convert them into colloid. يعني this colloid liquid is rich in amino acids and iodine. This colloid stored in the lumen cavity, okay, in need, like in cold condition when we're cold. هيدي البituitary gland inside the brain. Okay, pay attention to this part. So we have the pituitary gland, which is in the brain. It sends a message. It sends the thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, this hormone reaches the thyroid gland. It reaches the follicles. When this happens, the epithelial cells take back the stored colloid and they convert it into thyroxine hormones, which are the T3 and T4. These are hormones, يعني أكيد they will be released into the blood to be taken to different target cells. In this case, they are the cells of the body that will make oxidation to produce ATP energy, which is heat. Okay, let's go to the questions. أكيد. هلا to solve the questions, you will need to refer to the above text. We'll be solving them together. عم بقول لي what's the exact location of the thyroid? It's located at the base of the neck, in front of the trachea, and under the larynx. Okay? Under. Okay? Label the thyroid. We said that هيدا central space, central structure, which is C, is called the isthmus. And on both sides of the isthmus, we have the right lobe, and we have the left lobe of the thyroid. Right lobe, and we have the left lobe. Okay? Referring to document 2, name the following structures. Cells E. وين on cells E? Cells E. هيا. Cells E are the cells that make the outer layer of a follicle واسمهم epithelial follicular cells. Okay, they make the follicles that are in the thyroid. Liquid X, which is inside the thyroid, when هن labelوه لحظة. Liquid X, finally. Okay, which is right here in the middle. هيدا liquid stored, which is liquid stored X. It is the colloid liquid. Then, referring to documents 3 and figure 2, what's the name of hormone H? Hormone H is the hormone that is released by the pituitary gland to stimulate the hormone. من اسمه مبين لأنه it is released to stimulate the hormone, so اسمه TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. It is released by the pituitary gland والtarget organ اللي إلها هي الثايرويد. Nutrient I اللي هو موجود inside the colloid liquid is the nutrient, so it's the amino acid. Okay, and the mineral which is بالcolloid liquid هو iodine or iodine. Okay, so again, the thyroid is located at the base of the neck, under the larynx, in front of the trachea. It consists of a central structure called the isthmus, surrounded by two lobes, right and left. Under the microscope, we can see follicles. Each follicle has an outer layer made of epithelial follicular cells. In the middle, we have the colloid liquid rich in amino acids and iodine. For these follicles to function, to work, they receive a signal from the pituitary gland called the TSH. Okay, what are the steps of release of T3 and T4? Okay, so in cold conditions, the pituitary gland sends or releases TSH hormone to stimulate the thyroid follicles. Okay, second step. The cells of these follicles reabsorb the colloid liquid. The liquid is then converted into thyroxine hormones, T3 and T4. The hormones go into the blood to reach their target organs. The cells are okay, so when these T3, T4 reach the target organs, the cells of the body, so the cells do more oxidation in response to T3 and T4 to release heat in the form أكيد of ATP energy. Okay. The ATP energy أكيد, as they said before, إنه it requires more oxygen and more nutrients. تمام؟ Okay. كمان بapplication 1 page 145 عم بيقولوا لنا إنه human body temperature resists cold and remains warm in winter. Okay, before I start here هون ضروري نعرف إنه التارجت أورجن أول تارجت أورجن للثايرويد هن السيلز of the body. ليش؟ in order to maintain a good body temperature. هون لما بنبرد so the thyroid T3 T4 mainly بيساعدونا to maintain a good body temperature. Again هون عم بقول human body temperature resists cold and remains warm in winter thanks for the main endocrine gland. Okay. Which is the thyroid gland. In our search, what are we searching? In our search for the target organ of the thyroid gland, we measure the percentage of oxygen consumption of many suspected organs like the heart, kidneys, and testicles after the injection of T3. Okay? It was noticed that كمان يعني target organs do not respond equally to the same hormone. To solve this problem, more measurements were conducting. هلا using the given text عم بيقول لي شو الobjective. أنا عملت له highlight للobjective. What are we searching? So to identify the target organs of the thyroid gland. وهن ثلاثة organs are suspected. Posed question: why target organs do not respond equally to the same hormone? أكيد we do not forget the question mark. Okay. Transform the data into a table. Okay. هيدا التable. So we have 3 graphs. So حيكون في عنا one row on the top for the time. Yeah, I still need one here. راح أحط هي هيك. Okay. أكيد هون بدنا نحط time in hours وهون percentage of O2 consumed here by the testicles, heart, kidneys. Okay. أكيد عنا time 0, time 20, time 30, time 40, time 50. Okay. At time 0, the percentage of O2 consumed in all of them was 100. At time 20, it was 100 in the testicles, and it's تقريبا 110 in both the heart and the kidneys. 100 testicles هون. So the heart side تقريبا 122 kidneys. So it's شي هيك 15. Okay. 40 كان هيدا بقي 100. الهارت 140 120 100. The heart شي 142 شي 122. Okay, أكيد ما بدنا ننسى التايتل. A table showing, since it's a graph, they are graphs. So a table showing the variation of the percentage of O2 consumed in 3 different organs as a function of time in hours. Interpret the results. Interpret يعني بنعمل analyze بعدين this indicates that. Okay. So as دايما بتكون حالة التايم. So as time goes from 0 to 50 hours, the percentage of O2 consumed by the testicles remains constant at 100%. That of the heart increases from 100 to 142%, while that of the kidneys increases from 100 to 122%. أكيد لازم نحط this indicates that because this is interpret. Okay, so as you noticed, as you saw, إنه نحنا عنا testicles, they do not respond. Nothing happened in them, right? In the heart, the percentage of O2 consumed, يعني response to T3, okay, was significant, يعني مبينة. Okay, kidneys كمان responded بس in a weaker way يعني to هيدا. فبس هنحط this indicates that we'll have to say that okay, so testicles did not respond to T3 while the heart had a higher response to this hormone than the kidneys. Okay, what do we conclude from this? What do we conclude? We conclude that the testicles, we conclude that both the heart and لأنه the heart and the kidneys changed their consumption of O2 يعني they showed a response يعني are target organs of the T3 hormone while the testicles are not. Okay, a hypothesis explaining the difference among these three organs. Why? نحن قلنا the intensity of the response depends on the concentration of the hormone and also the receptors located on the target organs. The hypothesis can be إنه the testicles have no receptors on their membrane for T3, while the heart has more receptors to T3 than the kidneys. يعني الهارت والكدنيز they are target organs عندهم receptors for T3. الهارت عنده أكتر لأنه response كانت أكتر. التesticles did not show a response معناتها. التesticles have no receptors. Okay, in the second part, we repeated the same experiment. However, this time we injected radioactive T3, a T3 that we can track, labeled T3. Okay, then the radioactivity was measured. Okay, the results revealed that the membrane of the heart was radioactive for 80%. اوكي، معناتها وين ال T3 is binded، يعني تقريبا 80% of the membrane of the heart كان صار عليها T3 which is radioactive. It's the T3 that was radioactive and shiny. اوكي، هو ال T3 معناتها على الممبرين of the heart صار في عندي T3. اوكي، kidney 60% of the membrane of the kidney كمان became shiny، فكمان هون T3 binded، و testicles didn't shine at all، معناتها T3 ما اجى to bind on its membrane. اوكي، so the results reveal that the radioactive T3 binded more on the membrane of the heart than it did on that of the kidneys, while radioactive T3 did not bind at all to the membrane of the testicles. Is the hypothesis validated? أكيد. How do we know? To bind on the membrane of an organ, there must be receptors. Okay? T3 binded more on the membrane of the heart، معناتها في أكتر receptors on the membrane of the heart. وكمان on the kidneys في receptors بس less than those located on the membrane of the heart. With testicles, no receptors. Okay? Since T3 binded more on the membrane of the heart than it did on the membrane of the kidneys, so there are more receptors on the heart membrane than on the kidneys membrane. Also, T3 didn't bind to the membrane of the testicles due to the absence of receptors there. Therefore, the hypothesis is validated. It's a determined question, so it's better to start with the justification. Okay, convert the results into a histogram. Okay, a histogram الارو بيكون بس on the y axis، هون لا. Okay, so تحت we're going to put the organs we have، هون the percentage of radioactivity. We're going to take a scale numbers هن 0 60 و 80. رح اخد a scale انا انه كل وحدة هيك هي 20. 20 is good. So this is 20%. Okay. So هلا هون حيكون في عندي 20. أكيد zero. We start with zero right here. 20 we're not going to use it. 40 كمان ما رح نستعملها. 60 أكيد بدنا إياها so نكتبها. وعندنا كمان 80. Okay. Let's start drawing. أول شي حبلش بالهارت. heart عنده 80. Remember إنه size of the bars يعني بالعرض they must be equal and the space between them كمان must be equal. 80 for the heart. Kidneys عنا 60 و 0 for أكيد الخط بده يكون جالس. Okay. So هون عندي heart, kidneys, testicles. اوكي، قلت لكم السبيس هون وهون وهون must be equal، وهن كمان مثلا هون عرضهم two boxes two boxes. Okay, we still need the title and we're done. It's a histogram, so ما بنحط the variation of as a function of مثل ما عملنا بالجراف. هنحط a histogram showing the percentage of radioactivity in 3 different organs after injection of radioactive P3. Okay, practice the questions. If you still have any questions about the lesson, please feel free to ask.